Doing things for people's validation is one of the biggest wastes of time ever. And this is coming from someone who's personally done it multiple times and has failed time and time again. Most of the time I tried to do this, I would feel underwhelmed, disappointed, and I would doubt myself due to the fact that I was judging my worth off of other people's attention. And that's very bad because at the end of the day, your worth isn't judged based off what people see. Everybody appreciates different things. So if you base it off everyone, then you won't really see your worth. You don't see the true value of yourself, what you could really bring to this life. I was a freshman during quarantine, so I didn't attend school that year. I started going to school my sophomore year. During the first few months, I was very quiet. I didn't speak to anybody. I only spoke when necessary, and I just did my work, got my good grades, and went home. But during that time, I was still very self-conscious of myself. I was over worried about the way my hair looked, the way I walked, the way I talked, the way I spoke. Every little thing you could think about, I was that. Very, very, very self-conscious. I was conforming myself to the perceived potential thoughts of other people. And the whole time, they wasn't even worried about me. It was all just in my head. But after those couple months where I was very quiet, I did end up making a few friends at that school. And everything was going well. You know, it was cool. We was talking. You know what I'm saying? W homeboys. I'm still cool with some of them to this day. But I remember towards the end of that sophomore year, at this point, I've been cool with my friends for a little while. You know, we're wrapping up the end of the year. And towards the end of the year, you know, we'd be skipping a lot. Nobody really cared because it's the end of the year. And I remember when I was around certain people, I would act a little bit different or I would do a lot. And that's because I wanted to feel like I was heard or I was being paid attention to by these people, even though it didn't matter at all. As soon as they left the class period or 2 to 3 hours later, they were going to forget every little thing that happened that time. So it was all in vain. You know, leading up to that point of the year, I was getting new shoes, getting outfits, just getting things to get looks, you know. I actually did like the fits, but I'd be lying if I said that a big part of it wasn't for attention. And so boom, you know, that part of the year comes. I'm chilling with my friends. You know, I'm being a little extra, trying to get laughs and just feel like I'm accepted towards people. And after that, when the year ended, I felt empty, like I walked away with nothing despite all the effort that I put in to make sure that this would be something that's long lasting. Of course, that's what I thought about in my head. But now it's the summer. All of the people I tried to act extra to impress around didn't even think of me. They ain't talk to me, none of that. But me, I'm like, okay, we're just gonna do it again next year. You know, I didn't think too much of it, but it was something in my brain, but I didn't change at all. So I ended up doing the same thing when junior year came around, seeking validation, trying to get outfits for looks. Sometimes I'll do a bit too much around certain people, and all of it just didn't go my way. I either felt disappointed or I just didn't feel like enough. Towards the end of my junior year, I started not to care as much. This is when the change started to occur. I was still very similar to how I was prior, but I was a bit more carefree. So this is the start of when I actually started to change. Boom, junior year summer, I'm chilling, I'm just working, playing the game, you know, doing regular stuff. And then boom, senior year roll around, you know, I get my fits and everything, you know, I'm doing the same things like I said before, but I was just a little bit more carefree about it. Fast forward a couple months, I ended up falling out with someone because of how I thought other people would view me with this person. And when I realized that I actually lost someone that really wanted me, it made me think a lot. And at that point, this is like the second half of my senior year, and this is when I just completely just started caring. Because I realized that nobody ever gonna care. Like, all of this is in your head. You keep setting yourself up for failure every time and time again. When will you learn? And so I was like, all right, I'm done. And that's really when I started to just do my own thing and chill throughout the rest of the year. When the friend group I had issues with started acting funny and things like that, I just let it be. I was always just chilling in my own lane, and those people who was rocking with me, I would just chill with them. But I was very chill from that point on. And then, you know, I was just like that up until graduation. But I say this to say that me trying to seek constant validation and approval from people was something that actually held me back. Because during that time frame, I had goals set for myself that I wanted to do, but I let the fear and the doubt consume me, and I always ended up not staying consistent or not even starting what I wanted to do. Me worrying about other people that didn't even care about me or didn't even see the value of the words I would say or the things I would do stopped me from literally progressing in my life. So not only did it affect me in school, it affected me outside of school, it affected my mindset, it affected how I viewed myself. All of these things because I wanted to just seek one thing from people. Don't worry about people, man. Rock out, do your thing, bro. Even if you do get looks or people comment on what you do or whatever, they're gonna forget about it soon. They're not gonna be worried about you, bro. Do what you gotta do and shape your reality into what you want it to be. That's all I gotta say for this vid. I hope somebody learned something, and I'll see y'all in the next video.